What's up, YouTube fans? Today I want to take a look at the Dauntless Fighter, which is a KO of the Studio Series concept art Megatron from the Bumblebee movie. So this was sent to me by Dr. Diecast. I don't normally take a look at stuff like this. I think he was interested in just because it looked a really cool looking version of Megatron. And the KO, I guess, has some extra paint, extra detail that the original doesn't have. It is the same size, essentially the same figure with some better paint. The head does look a little bit different, but other than that, it's pretty much the same figure. So let's take a look at it. I will say it does look really good. You got silver paint throughout, red paint here on the arms, silver paint here, accents, a little bit of gray, black paint here. Is that black paint? Maybe black plastic. No, that's black paint. With silver there, red accents here. Lots of little details all throughout. Not a lot of waffles and kibble. This is a relatively complex figure. It's got a lot going on. It's a triple changer. So it changes into a tank and a jet. They're not the best alt modes, but it is relatively complex just due to the fact that it transforms into both of those modes. You do already have some options with the gun right away. So this gun can be displayed a couple different ways. You can have it back like this. If you want it lower on the arm, you can have that look. I think it looks better higher up. You can open this up so you can have that look. You can also go to the back here and you can stow it if you want. I don't know why anyone would, because it's Megatron. It's got to have his gun, but fold this up, tab it in right here, and then this, fold that back down, and then this will plug in right here. I mean, you could do it different ways, but basically you can stow that right there, or you can use this tab and stow that, whatever you want really. As far as articulation, the head is on a ball joint, goes up to there, down to there, side to side, rotates around. Shoulders are around on friction hinge, out to the side on a friction hinge, rotation at the bicep, single jointed elbow, but it gets you past 90 degrees up to there, rotation at the wrist. You have individually articulated fingers at 2 pins for the pointing finger, and the other 3 are pinned together, but they also have 2 pins. So due to that, he can point, which is more complexity than most Studio Series figures. So I was kind of surprised to see that. You know, the original design is pretty cool. So again, point, nothing at the thumb. Coming out of the waist, you have a rotation here. No ab crunch on this guy. You have hip skirts on the sides, move out of the way, and then these front ones will also move out of the way, so you can get the leg way up to there. Really a lot of range on that. Back to there, out to the side. Rotation at the thigh at a cut joint. Single jointed knee, but again, due to the sculpt, he gets a really deep bend. You have ankle tilts in both directions, forward and backward. So pretty well articulated, minus ab crunch. It's got pretty much everything else. Oh, and I forgot to mention the butterfly joint. There are butterfly joints here on the shoulder. Just works out due to the transformation. And for a quick size comparison, there it is next to the Netflix or Earthrise Optimus Prime. Unfortunately, my Studio Series 86 Prime is out to be loaned to T-Man 978, so can't bring him in here. But this is a Voyager class, this is a Leader class, so it is bigger. So I think if you take the Leader class Optimus, they'll be closer in size. But either way, pretty big figure here. I was surprised at how big it is. And before we get him transformed into his vehicle modes, Dr. Diecast did throw in this IDW style Megatron head. It didn't come with this figure. I think he got it from eBay. It looks like it's 3D printed and painted. I'll ask him where he got it from. But just to show you how this might look with the IW head. By the way, there's no screw holding this head together. So I don't know if he took it out and forgot to put it back in. But look at that. But yeah, I don't know if he took it out or if it just never came with one, but it does have a nice tight fit. Now this looks good, but the silver isn't a perfect match. So if you're doing something like this, you'd probably have to paint it. It does look nice, but I think it's a little bit too bright of a silver compared to the rest of it. All right, now let's get Megatron transformed into vehicle mode. Go ahead and remove the gun, and we just set that aside for now. And we'll start on the arms. Lift up the arms, open up this panel. And we want to have the hands folded up like this with the fingers over there. They should fit into there and then close up. Same on this one. And if you have the fingers back like this, you'll have trouble. So make sure they're forward on the inside of the wrist. Pull that in. And we can come to the backpack here. And we can unpeg all of this. These are just pegged into the front here. So that kind of holds it together. So unpeg all of that. Set that back there. Come to the inside here. You're going to flip this around. Make sure you open this up all the way. Head will flip into there. We can come to the sides here. We're going to open up these two tabs on the side of his abdomen. And then we can take this, just bring this back down, leave this here for now. And we'll take care of the legs. So on the legs, we can open up this panel. Open up this panel. We can unpeg the inner leg, or the outer piece from the leg. Fold the foot in. And then we're going to tab this back in. And it's going to tab to the second slot here. There's two slots. This one is for the jet mode, and this is for the tank mode. Let's get that pegged in. Rotate this down. Come to the back. Pull down on this tread so it comes down. Then you can put this back in and then fold that up. Right? Take these, fold those out of the way, fold these out of the way. This is going to come around. And we're going to pull out on this double hinge. And that'll allow you to take this, and we're basically going to tab this tab into this slot right here. So go ahead and plug that in. Actually, before we do that, you can put this back down into here and then tab that in. Same on this one. Right now we got both legs in. If these didn't already go back down, you can just push them back down so they sit flat. And don't forget to pull down on these rear treads. They like to push back in accidentally. All right, now we'll take care of this. So bring this back down. And that'll set like this. Bring these in. There's a little tab here between the shoulders. So those are going to peg into each other. And then these are going to rotate so you have this on the side, but you want the elbow so you can bend it. So you have to kind of rotate this up, rotate this in. So you end up allowing this to bend at this joint. So let's see, same on this one. Get it like this. Yeah. And then peg these two together. And then on the inside, you're going to take this gun. And we're going to take these, fold this back so it's just like this. Now we have a tab on each side. Those are going to fit into those two slots on the side of the arms. It's a very weird design. I haven't seen a lot of tank turret designs like this, but that's how it works. And there is Megatron in tank mode. It's kind of weak, actually, to be honest. I mean, it does rotate. Just due to the way it's set up, it can go up and down, but it's relatively weak in this mode. I mean, it doesn't really look like it. You got treads, but overall, it's just kind of a mess. And for a quick size comparison, there it is next to the Earthrise Optimus Prime again. And pretty big tank. It's kind of more round than anything else, but there you go. All right, now let's get him transformed into the jet mode. And I do have to be honest, the jet mode, I didn't study it well enough to know if I have it perfectly right, but go ahead and just remove the gun again, just like we did before. We can pull these arms back. We're going to unpeg the legs. We're going to undo a lot of stuff we already did. Bring out these wings. We can open up this section here. We're going to open up this tread so it's out like this. We can recollapse this into the waist. In order to do that, you can bring this out, fold these hip skirts up, and then that'll allow you to open up this one, and then put that leg or the thigh back in. Right now that we have like that, we can rotate, keep the black part on top for the hip. I'm going to rotate this, open this up, and bring this down to the back. And if you haven't already, collapse this tread back in. So we're going to bring this armature up, and there's a slot here, and then there's a tab and a slot here. The back one goes in nice and easy. The front one's a little bit harder. You got to give a little bit of force, but it'll peg in like that. And this is going to come to the front. This is going to come and now use the outer tab to tab into the foot, or the inner tab, I'm sorry, to tab into the foot. So you can bring this down, get that tabbed in, leave this wing out to the side. This piece here is just going to sit on the front. You can kind of do whatever you want. So go ahead and take this chest piece. You're going to accordion this down and make sure the head stays down in there. And then bring the arms around to the other side. So they sit on this side. And just leave these up for now. We'll take care of those in a minute. All right, so this leg should come in and sit right there. Come to the bottom here. We can open up this front piece here. Then open up the nose cone. And that's kind of the front of the jet. All right, so that's how we're looking. Go ahead and do the same thing on the other leg. All right, now that we got both legs taken care of, that kind of makes up the wings. We'll lock those in. So bring down these hip skirts that'll tab in to the top of the, or the back of the hips. And then these are going to come down. Now, I don't think I'm doing this right, but there's a tab right here on the side of the arm. And it's got to make its way into this slot right here. And for whatever reason, it doesn't line up perfectly. I guess I can get it, but I'm pretty sure I've got something wrong, because I don't think it should look like that. But this jet mode doesn't really look like a jet mode anyways. So honestly, it's not really worth, wasting time over, to be honest. Come to the top here, and we can just kind of clean up some of this. Take your gun, and we can fold this over, and then that will peg into the top here. And if you want, you can raise up this little thing as a fin or whatever. And there's Megatron in what I consider a pretty poorly done jet mode. Like I said, I might not have these arms right, but who cares? Because the thing is just barely a jet. You could see it's just his legs bent up. I do think the gun looks nice on top. This does look like a cockpit, roughly. But overall, it's not that effective of a jet mode. You can move this if you don't like it here. Put it on the other side. You could plug it on the bottom if you want, into the legs. You kind of, or in the arms, I mean. You kind of put them wherever you want. But either way, just not the best, most effective. Actually, that looks a lot better, I think. Right in the center. And there it is once again next to the Earthrise Optimus Prime. Relatively large jet. So, final recommendations on the Dauntless fighter. And actually, I'm not sure if I'm talking about recommendations for this KO or if I'm talking about recommendations for the Studio Series concept art Megatron, because ultimately they designed this figure, and since this is the same design with exception to some paint, then I think I'm going to recommend the Studio Series figure. I'm going to give it a 4 to 5. The articulation is really well done. As you can see, you know, it's very posable in robot mode. Tank mode is okay at best. It does look like a tank, sort of, but it's kind of looks like a muffin. But the jet mode is definitely not the best. It just looks like they phoned that mode in. But usually with triple changers, one of the mode is phoned in anyway. And now, is the KO better than the original? I guess it does have some better paint, but if that's the only improvement, I'm not sure I would recommend the KO over the original. I don't see any improvements there. But that's it for today. Thanks for watching. Thanks to Dr. Diecast for sending us for review, and we'll see you next time.